Welcome to Creators Blueprint.
Welcome to Creators Blueprint, where we talk about unnecessary stuff in design. I'm here joined by Oscar Lima Design and our very own. Welcome back, Robbie, aka Foul Matter. How are you today?
Hey everybody, it's good to be back.
How's everybody's week going?
It's good, almost over. Finally.
It's Thirsty Thursday. Where's the drinks, Robbie?
That's a good question, Oscar. Where are they?
They're hidden right now, for now at least, since we're just about to start. Gotta
So
ease into it.
When we first started the podcast, we were drinking heavy while doing the podcast. So you could reference that from episodes 1 to 5, I believe.
And then that's when Robert took a break.
Now I can get back sober.
They may or may not be related.
He came back sober, and he's ready to take over the world. So how's everybody's weekend? What'd you guys do for Labor Day weekend?
Labor Day weekend, spent time with the family, and that's about it. Like, played some soccer with them, volleyball, and rested. That's about it.
That's cool.
How are you, Rob?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Hung out with my family. Saw my sister. She just started her first semester at FIT in Manhattan, so she's doing good so far. She's doing well so far. Yeah, and just took the extra day off work on Monday to, relax a little bit and just, enjoy it.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
You said took the extra day off?
I mean, I took advantage of the day off.
Wasn't it shitty in Labor Day? Raining?
Was it? I
believe.
I don't know.
No,
How are you?
I think it cleared up.
What'd you do? What'd you do over the weekend?
I went to Canada. It was cool.
Oh,
Sorry.
true. I saw that.
We drove to the Niagara Falls there for 2 days, and the second day we drove to Toronto for like the day, and then came back to Niagara Falls. It was like Las Vegas for little children. Niagara Falls, like it has so much potential to have bars and
They don't
adult
have
fun.
a lot of bars?
It's just
Wow.
hotels.
It's more,
right?
yeah, it's more aimed towards children.
And older people.
I just
right?
don't, I mean...
And older people. Like
No,
casinos
so,
there,
okay,
right?
I see.
They do have-
Oh,
they do
I
have-
see.
Dude, I witnessed like a little robbery in the casino. We were playing roulette, and my brother and I were standing by the roulette table. There was 2 guys that betted on black, right? And one guy had 4 black chips, which is 100 Canadian dollars each chip, and the other guy had 1 black chip. So the guy with the hat had 4, and the guy without the hat had 1. He placed it on black, and the other guy placed it on black too. But the guy that was stealing, rolling the ball, he put the chips together, and then the guy that had the 1 chip left. I don't know where he left to. He's stupid. And then
Yeah, how can you leave your table like that?
and then they won, so they doubled their money, and since both chips were like together, the stack of 5, he puts the other stack of 5, and then the guy with the hat, he was just waiting, just like, where's the other guy? Then you just see him just scoop up all the extra 200 that the guy just left there, and then the guy with the without the hat came back, and he was like. He was just scratching his head. He didn't know where his money went.
Yeah, he got finessed.
But I wanted to say something, but I didn't, because at that point you're that stupid and it's natural selection.
Yo, you've been saying that word a lot. Natural selection of that.
It's 2
Natural
words.
selection. Huh?
What? It's 2 words.
He's been saying that phrase of a word a lot. What's your problem with that word, bro?
There is no problem. If anything, I'm for it.
I was sneezing the other day, and he was like, natural selection. I was like, what?
So yeah, that guy's stupid just for leaving the table.
Yeah, Darwinism.
Natural selection.
Exactly. Social Darwinism,
So that man just took the grand he got and just went to another table.
Wow.
So he did lose it.
The other guy that left the money
He
there,
snatched it.
he lost the $200, and then they both went their own ways. I'm like, wow, did we just see the?
Oh, this just
robbery?
dumb. He probably was sauced, maybe? Or no?
No, that's just stupid. If you leave $100 coin,
Yeah, you're dumb.
either you're drunk or not.
Yeah, I
Anyways.
mean, I can't imagine being so drunk to the point where you just, get that reckless, and if you do get that reckless, you should have someone with you to kind of, watch over you.
At that point, you're blacked out.
Yeah, I don't even know why you would be in a gambling environment. That's very dangerous.
The thing also is like at casinos they give you free drinks.
Because they want
you
to
to
fuck
get
you up,
drunk and then spend a lot of money.
Exactly, of course. It's in
It's
their
all a scam.
interest. Yeah.
But anyways,
Have you ever guys been to a casino where you actually pay for the drinks? The one in Yonkers is like that. It's so trash.
There's a casino in Yonkers.
I can go all the way to Yonkers to go to casinos.
What is it? That's not in Yonkers. It's by Yonkers. I forgot the name.
You mean the
Washington Heights? No.
you mean down by JFK?
No. It's not by JFK. It's by
okay.
Yonkers.
Oh,
It's Paradise. No, it's not Paradise. Anywho.
Anyways, Rob, how you been? Like what? Like since you
yeah,
made your
from my temporary hiatus.
Yeah.
It's been good. Things are going pretty well with.
Why did you take the hiatus?
Well, so the gist of it was that I was getting overwhelmed in my schedule. Not overwhelmed, but I was just getting really, really busy in terms of managing my restaurant. I do have a restaurant. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that before in an episode or two, but for those of you that might not know, I am a co-owner of a sushi restaurant in Soho, Manhattan. So over the past few months, we've just been steadily building up our customer base to the point where we now have a relatively stable customer base, right? And we're definitely excited for the future. We're gonna be a 1 year in operation at the beginning of December. So that's coming up in 3 months. So we're excited for that. In 1 month, in October, is 1 year that I joined the team as an owner, right? When we were kind of still solidifying everything, and we were doing the renovations for the restaurant before we actually went into operation. But yeah, so over these past few months, I've been helping out with marketing efforts. I've been helping out with accounting a little bit here and there. And pretty soon I'm also going to be, because we're planning some upcoming renovations in the interior. We're going to do a couple things. So we're going to start getting underway with the design process for those things. So we're really excited. So yeah, the reason why I went on a little bit of a hiatus was because, I had a lot of things on my plate, not just the restaurant, but also just typical work, and then my photography, obviously, just trying to keep up with posting on a, sort of regular basis. Yeah, so, just had a lot going on. And I mean, I still have a lot going on for sure, but,
So how's it been then? Go ahead.
I was going to say, but Rob is a very close friend, and he can come back to the show whenever he wants.
I appreciate that.
Love you.
Love you too.
So how was that rest period? Like that extra day of not doing anything.
You mean on Labor Day?
No,
I mean,
I'm
like
talking
in
about
general,
Thursdays,
when you
so
left,
don't come here.
you just left every Thursday, and you have Thursdays free.
Honestly, that wasn't free at all. I mean, a lot of the time so I recently had to help in the restaurant for a few weeks, actually like serving customers. The reason for that was,
you were a waiter?
It was funny, sort of funny story. No,
Shout out to the
waiter.
waiters
You could
out
call
there.
waiter, server, whatever you want to call it.
Shout out to the
Actually,
busboys and waiters.
We do have a busboy / dishwasher, not the machine, but the person who washes the dishes. But yeah, I would help bussing. I would help serving customers. So just like taking orders, greeting customers, checking them out, giving drinks, etc., etc.
Staying humble, even though you own the whole restaurant.
Well, the reason why we did it was because we recently let go of one of our in-house managers, right? So
it was personal, or was it?
No. It was just things.
He's just not fitting in.
Actually, he had to take care of some stuff on his end, and I believe he was also planning on going back to school soon for graduate studies. So, things weren't going to line up anyways. But it's fine. It's just strictly business. It's strictly business. So what we ended up doing was, since we let him go, we had to kind of instead of hiring a new manager, we decided to save that little bit of money. Well, it wasn't even a little bit. It was a pretty substantial amount of money. We saved that salary money, and then we just work ourselves. It was me and 2 other co-owners. Actually, the CEO and the CFO, so the chief executive and the chief financial, and me, the chief operating. So all 3 of us, which I think we're the 3 highest owners in the company. We have the biggest shares. So we actually went to work in our own restaurant as servers for a few weeks. Yeah, it was quite an experience. I have nothing but respect for people that work in the food industry. I mean,
course,
it is
they're like the foundation of society.
Super,
Without them, we'd be
super
starving.
chaotic, stressful. Oh my God, it is just
How long
you
did you
just
do
don't
this
catch a
for?
break.
How long
I
did
did it
you-
for a few weeks, like 3 weeks, I think. Yeah,
And that was able to save you guys some salary.
yeah, I mean, because think about it. What ended up happening was our existing server that we had, she kind of assumed the roles of manager, and then we just recently hired a new server. So now we have 2 servers again.
Yeah.
And then so that's why we can kind of step off now, like in terms of like working in the restaurant. So yeah. What was I saying? What was your question?
I forgot at this point.
Yeah, I forgot to.
Oh no, I was just saying how you worked 3 weeks and that was able to save you guys salary. Cause
Yeah,
you said that.
we saved. I mean, because the manager was full time, so that's like 40 hours a week multiplied by his salary, which I will not disclose. But you know,
I feel like you had a vendetta with this guy.
I had absolutely no vendetta with this guy. He was great. He knew so much. You know, he helped us out a
Because he was
lot.
going back to school. That's hilarious.
So you would give him if he needed like that reference call, you'd be there.
Yeah,
for
of
him?
course.
All right. At
Um,
least that you can
Yeah,
say that.
of course. Yeah, so we saved a couple $1,000s. Let's just put it that way. A couple thousand.
That's cool. So, what's in the schedule, Mr. Oscar?
So first we're gonna tackle the topic: big designers don't design. I mean, I kind of called it that. Just a big overview of it. Kind of going into how, as designers, obviously you build your foundation through working for someone,
Yes.
and then if you're lucky and you work hard, you get to the point to where you have your own brand. And obviously, when you have your own brand, you can't literally touch every single thing that comes out of your like design house. So you have other people designing for you. I don't know if you know anything about this topic more in depth.
Oh shit. Look at this meme. It has like a whole bunch of people all scattered around a person digging.
Yeah.
The person digging is called the designer, and the people around it is like the CEO, the lead designer.
Yeah.
and all those.
We
other
should
people.
edit that screenshot into the video.
I could do that, but
Perfect.
hopefully someone watches it.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like
I definitely think it's a problem. Well, I don't know if you would call it a problem. I guess it depends on who you ask. But yeah, that's in architecture, in I'm sure footwear, fashion, industrial design, right? Like
We're
that
gonna-
happens.
Yeah. So like I know I said the overall topic was big designers don't design, but I kind of thought of this other subcategory topic where I don't know if we discussed ever, but how like in relation to that meme, how we design the products and then there's like a salesperson that then goes out and sells it and then makes commission off of it. You know, have you ever thought of that?
of course
How that works?
all the time.
I think did we talk about this?
Yeah, we did, but we could talk about it again since
No, we don't
nobody
have
listens.
to. But, no, it was just a quick.
Maybe like a brief recap.
So well, to the first subject.
The big yeah.
I did experience multiple like head designers that one designer is the lead designer and he works his ass off from like the beginning of the day to the end of the day and stays even more. So I respect those bosses, but then there's also designers that I've experienced that tell people what to do. And it's and at that and you see a lot of big designers in the market right now that you could clearly tell that they just not even manage the team, they put their name on the design just so they could so the product could sell more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel I can't tell you like how the process went. Like do they just come in and just put their input for only 5 minutes, or are they behind their designers and they become the salespeople at that point?
Oh, good.
Oh, see, what I imagine it being, it can go both ways. I mean, there can be situations where the designer or the main designer will kind of be responsible for the vision, right? And the reason, the vision, because the vision is just that, it's a vision. But, unless you do something with that, it's just going to remain a vision. So then that's when I think the rest of the team comes in and they flesh out the details. The vision can be as simple as a fucking sketch on a napkin. Like, this is a story that's commonly, like, found, like, in architecture. The big architect, he's out at a fancy dinner or something. He's talking with a client. He sketches something out on a napkin. The client thinks it's genius. And then he, like, gives it to the team. He's like, all right, do your thing, right? And then, maybe a couple weeks or months later, or maybe even years, depending on the scope of the project, they will furnish a complete construction drawing set and specifications, a project manual, the original napkin guy will probably look over and he'll be like, all right, sounds good, and he'll sign off on it. And the headline will read, napkin guy's newest project, right? As if he designed it.
I feel like, if you have a certain amount of years of experience as being a designer, you will eventually learn how to sell and lead the vision.
Right. Responsible for moving it forward, and then you delegate the work to your team.
So you're gonna be the name, but
I think if you have if you have some knowledge of the design world, right, and how things work, then you will probably be aware that it's not just him alone, right? It's him and an entire team of people.
Entire team of people.
So even if you just see his name only, if you know design and you understand it, then you will obviously know that he's not the only one behind it, for sure.
I think for me, I'm thinking now, if he did the original sketch on the napkin sketch, is it deserving for him to get all of the credit? Because look, think about it this way. He is giving them the order of what to do. Obviously, he's not doing the specifications. He's not doing all of the other side work that you have to do to make the project evolve. But he is telling them what to do.
It's assumed that he would know how to do it on his own.
But he has helpers, basically.
And he's probably done it before when he was in a lower position, but he's climbed the ranks to a point where now he can delegate that work to someone else and kind of show them or let them learn how to do it, and kind of, you know what I mean? Like the progression.
I feel like when you said he could probably do that on his own, I feel like he can't.
Well, yeah, that's true. There are times where, they don't necessarily know how to do it. They know what a specification manual is, but they might not know how to put it together. So that might be also a case.
But then again, now for us as designers, we don't do everything.
We don't.
It's impossible.
Even as you as an architect.
No, absolutely not. It is impossible.
Like, how would you feel if you're just working in the design team and Rob is your lead designer, and everything you do and all the brilliant changes that happens throughout the design process doesn't get noticed, but his name is on that project that you worked on?
So that's where I'm thinking about whether he gave me the whole, let's say he gave me the project and I had to just tweak some things in behind
it
the
also
scenes.
Depends the level of involvement.
I had to do some behind the scenes, or if I had to add to it, then I mean, at the end of the day, I'm working for him, right? He's giving me the project. It would be nice to have that recognition of, he worked on so-and-so part of the project. But at the end of it, it's his idea.
I think what would be nice is if the lead architect or the lead designer, you know, they kind of publish a list of
Team,
of
right?
yeah, like team leaders, right? And I think that kind of helps give everyone their due credit. And I don't think that takes anything away from the lead designer, because I mean, come on, it's obvious that you wouldn't have worked on this on your own. I mean, if you are the leader of of a firm, it's even more, it's so obvious that obviously that yes, it's obvious that you're not going to be alone responsible for the design. I mean, you have a firm, like that is the job of the firm to, you know, collaborate on this together. And I think at the end of the day, it might even come off as just disingenuous if you do just kind of try to take all the credit. So yeah, I mean, if when I get to that position in my career, you know, hopefully I do. Yeah, I would definitely like to emphasize the collaborative nature of those projects. You know, it's a team effort. I mean, especially for architecture, because like, you know, we need engineers, we need mechanics, mechanical engineers, structural engineers, civil engineers. You know, we need lighting consultants. We need so many other people that is just not me. You know, I do not have all of that knowledge alone. You know, it is a group of people that have knowledge of different fields that come together and put a project together. So, and I'm sure the same can be said about other design fields too. So.
Yeah. Now, when you think about stuff like big company names like IDEO, Frog, Smart, at the end of the, or like let's say Kith, they're uh, they're just the same thing basically, right? They're just design firms at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like Kith is let's say it's a design firm because he probably has his own team of people that do all the work for him, but maybe he has like he gives the last stamp of approval before it goes out. So, and just like in architecture, you were saying big, for instance, you know, like they have that final stamp of approval from the lead, like the guy, who was it? What's his name?
Bjark Ingels.
Yeah. So
Like, yeah, he is the face of he is the face of his firm of big, right?
But then
yeah.
again, like, all right, now I'm look at it as like the other side. When when you become recognized just for your name, then you are actually very talented. You put enough work in.
Right. Yes, that's true. You've gotten to a point.
You innovated stuff. You pushed the whatever you worked on forward. You become a leader at that point.
Exactly. You've become a name brand. I mean, your name is the brand now. I think.
So
yeah,
like all that
takes
recognition
a lot of work in
should
itself.
be well deserved at that point. But then again, there's also some designers that just literally, you know, fall off. Don't fall off, but they don't become leaders. They become just a face. They don't do anything inside the design team.
Right.
That's where I have the problem with.
Yeah, understandably.
They just come into the office, have some pointers, and just leave.
Yeah.
There are
right.
are designers like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like kind of the celebrity people that promote a product, kind of, where like let's just I don't know, Rihanna and her stuff, you know? I don't know.
I think I know what you mean. Like, I think Katy Perry had like a shoe line out at one point, and it like she's obviously not the one designing it, but she's just kind of signing off on her name to be used in it.
Or Lady Gaga being the creative director
of Polaroid. Yes.
What the hell does she know
Kanye's
about Polaroid?
quote is absolutely 100% true. What does she know about cameras? I mean,
yeah, it's true.
If you can sell the product, you can make money off the product. That's what he said, right?
I don't know, but that sounds about right.
Yeah,
So
that's
like Elon Musk.
It's true. It makes sense.
Like Elon Musk, he did create. No, I feel like he works a lot.
No, he's superhuman. I mean, he works his ass off, and he's the face of the company.
He works at 2 different locations.
I've heard about how Apple is just like has a whole bunch of designers as interns, and
what's it called?
The sweatshop, Apple sweatshop.
I've heard of this, but I don't know if it's true.
So it's like some whispers in the wind where Apple has a sweatshop full of designers or interns, and they just grab their ideas and
like a
get rid of
floor.
them.
There's a
did-
full floor dedicated to them, and then like big designers of higher ranks would
Right.
just come downstairs and like look over your shoulder, and if they like it, they could just take it and evolve it into something.
I think
crazy.
you were recently telling me about how a company, a footwear company, kind of like hosted a class, an academic class, and the idea was, if they like one of the final presentations, they will, offer like an internship or something
That
to
was
that
our watch
student.
project.
Was it the watch project or was it a footwear?
Yeah, because
product?
they come in, they give the students the opportunity
Yeah,
to
they like
design
sponsor
for a
the
brand.
class. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and every student comes up with a concept
Right.
and presents to the
yeah,
to the
right.
licensor.
Yeah.
And everything you create throughout that whole semester, it's owned by them.
Yes, exactly. See, that's the caveat. Like, you can design to your heart's content, but at the end of the day, they own whatever may be produced in that class. And I always wonder, would there be ever a situation where a student would disagree to those terms? Like, what if the student just says, no, I don't want to agree to those terms. I don't want them to have ownership of what I may create in this class. I don't consent to that. What would happen in that situation?
You would really have to be very confident in yourself, because when you're in school,
Yeah,
you're
that's true.
literally trying to build yourself as a designer, and then build your resume, build your connections. And so
Right.
like you take all of those cons with working with a company, and you just like suck it up.
And then they have the nerve to tell us we can't use that project in our portfolio.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so. If they did they tell you that at the beginning?
Yep.
Because if
signed
they tell you at the
papers.
beginning,
At the beginning,
that would
yeah.
kind of take out all incentive to even work
We
hard
signed
at
an
the
NDA.
project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
but-
Oh, a
can't-
non-disclosure, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
but I still put it up.
Yeah, right.
And I'm sure everyone does. Like, how are you supposed to? Are you gonna spend the full semester?
Are you kidding me?
Okay,
And not have it in your portfolio?
And think
Fuck
about it
that.
this way. Let's say there was like 30 kids in our class, and they get 30 designs, well thought out from beginning to end.
Right, fleshed out
That's
designs.
like 30 freelance
commissions, basically.
right
Like,
there.
yeah.
And they're getting that for like nothing.
But I did hear they kind of donate to the school.
But then
donate to
again,
us?
like what the like
We're
now?
starving kids eating
Yeah.
panda
See,
every
that's
day.
the problem.
Panda Express,
When you bring in the notion that they're like big significant donors to the school, see that the politics come into play, and conflicts of interest.
And the fact that there's like 30 kids and you offer like what, 1 or 2 internships. I mean, I guess it's good, but
It's almost like
Could be.
survival of the fittest, like a kind of like elimination kind of
course.
competition. I mean, it's whatever, but at the same time, I think that that's not the best way to kind of go about
they're basically like holding up.
Yes,
the
exactly.
opportunity
They're
of, like,
dangling
hey,
in front of you guys.
They're
Yes,
like, hey,
that's
like,
exactly.
you do great. Like, work your ass off. Do great in this project. Like, do the best you can, because like that project could maybe influence our designers at whatever place that you're.
See,
working
that
with.
is a very clever way of saying, hey, if you do good enough, if you do well enough, then we might take it. But hey, at least it was good enough for us to take. You should
Yeah.
be honored.
And then on top of that, it's like you can get an internship. So it's like very like
Very
they're trying to-
backhanded,
it's
two-faced.
mind games with that stuff.
Yes, exactly.
But you definitely, if you're in school and you have the opportunity, like let's say, again, you go back and we have the opportunity to design for Nike. Like, we're just gonna try to do our best and try to get that internship.
Of course.
And if we don't get it, we don't get it. But that project is still there, and we're obviously gonna send that out because you can't not send it out. You know.
Yeah. So the students are on the bottom of the totem pole.
But keep your heads up. Keep your heads up.
There's I forgot the documentary, but there was there's a movie on a documentary on Netflix where they show the life of a video game designer and show how intense it is. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you go into the field like, yeah, I'm gonna design video games and all that. Like, let's say Fortnite, I'm gonna help them out, design weapons, work on the landscape, but the amount of pressure they put on the employees is crazy. Apparently, like if you last 3-4 years, you're considered a veteran because at that time, since you're working so much, you know Fortnite and how many updates they do, like,
That's insane to think about.
and
Yeah, it's true.
so
Updates
yeah,
every 2 weeks.
so they burn out their designers, and within 2 years they just
Retire.
get
I
tired,
know,
get
yeah.
tired, switch.
Just go to something else.
Yeah, they just go to something else, and it's kind of upsetting seeing how somebody's passion could just get burned off throughout time just because the bosses are just telling them what to do at that point. You know.
I was gonna say, like, you know how crazy it is that some places you design something new every day, and like we work.
Oh, I could
so
not
many-
imagine doing that. Having a new design every day. Oh my God.
Actually, I would like that.
I kind of do that, but like what I'm trying to say is like
I guess
that
it's different for architecture.
we don't
'cause-
have, like I was saying, you know how like musicians, they'll have the album out, they'll like work for 3 months and then like they'll have it out, but then like they sometimes get burned out and they need to take rest. Some
Right.
designers don't have the opportunity to take that rest,
Right, exactly.
and it's like insane. You never felt like that, or
In college, yeah.
you needed a break?
Yeah, there's so much shit going on. It was not only like the design classes, but like everything. Like we had freaking art, like 2 art histories, foundation, no, not foundation, marketing and like speech, like all going on at the same time. 2 design classes, and yeah, by like I don't know, December, I just started getting burned out. Like every December,
Every
December. Just burned out.
What about every April? Like for the spring
April.
semester?
Yeah. It's every April. Like by the end of the semester, you're just burned out. You're
Yeah,
like, "Ah."
exactly. Yeah.
But-
That's happened to me too.
But I want to get to the point of my life where like I'm working so much in something that I'm so passionate about, where I feel that burn again. Like I'm just driven, you know?
You feel the fire, I guess.
Yeah, the fire,
Yeah.
just work all the time.
Right.
I want you.
Oh,
I want to see you like the next time, and like I have, my eyes are like closing, and you're like,
Yeah,
are
I know
you
what you
are you
mean.
good? Are you tired?
not
I'm
good.
like,
Yeah, it's like when
yeah,
you
I'm-
genuinely look forward to like getting back to work on the project that you've been working on and continuing to flesh it out and see it all kind of solidify and just kind of realizing it. I think that's a pretty awesome thing.
Yeah, that would be a great feeling. I hope I get to that one day.
Yeah.
I think I've been in situations where, like, for example, because I usually shoot like night photography, so I'm out really, really late sometimes. And even if I'm like physically exhausted, like, I'll continue to go because, it's just I feel like, especially now that I have my job and my compared to when I was in college, my time available to shoot has become much more narrow, right? Usually only on the weekends. So I feel like I really have to seize the opportunities when they come even more so now. So there's more urgency now to do it. But yeah, and then also with architecture, sometimes when I feel like I'm being very productive, I might stay later. I might stay at work later because I don't want to disrupt the kind of rhythm that I have going on, and I want to continue working for a little bit more and at least finish something that would be a significant marker in the overall progress of the project. So I think that's what's so awesome about design fields is that it kind of can give you that drive to continue going forward. I think that's
But
pretty
you need
awesome.
that fire. You need that project.
Yeah, the fire. Yeah, that's something that you need.
That's very essential.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
absolutely.
Like you don't want to be working on like 24/7 on a project you don't really like.
That's
or
the
you're passionate
worst.
about.
It sucks because then you just have no motivation and it feels like a task, like a chore, like a job, rather than like a passion.
Yeah.
But of course there's going to be moments like that, but you take the good with the bad, I guess. It's
Like I see it 2 ways. One way, you're very passionate towards a project and you work on it day and night, and then there's like and the other side of it is what I like doing consultancy, where it's a new project every 2 days, and you have to do a new design. And I kind of like that because it's refreshing me. Like every project, I get to do new research, new ideation sketches. Kind of miss it a lot. So yeah.
I guess I feel like I can't necessarily relate to the idea of having to conjure new designs every day or new sketches on a daily basis, because for architecture, typically the scope is much larger. So you're designing entire houses or buildings or just sites. So it's for me at least, I feel like it's a little bit different, where I like to take a little bit more time in terms of dedicating energy to like maybe a few projects, or just, if I could, just one project at a time. But obviously the real world doesn't necessarily work like that all the time. So sometimes I have to divide my energy into,
How many projects do you work as an architect usually at
well,
the same
I mean,
time?
for right now, I can tell you I'm working on at least 4 projects, just kind of simultaneously, and some are more of a priority than others. But see, the priorities shift when it can change from day to day. I mean, if the client comes back to us suddenly and gives us a hard deadline of like 2 weeks from now, right? Suddenly that project will like shoot up to the top of all of my other projects that I'm working on. And then once that's out of the way, the other projects can come back into the fold, and I can assign priority as I deem necessary. So.
But how many other projects do you have?
Like-
Priorities could change, but like overall, how many are you holding on to at the moment?
In my office,
Not like yourself, like only you.
like
I don't know how your office works, but I'm curious to see how many projects does an architect have at the time.
Okay, so I mean, when it comes to my projects, there's also like different phases within the project. So there might be multiple phases open within the same project, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of gets a little complicated when you're trying to quantify the number of projects you're working on, because multiple projects can have multiple phases. But in general, I'm doing a roof replacement. Well, I'm not doing it. I'm helping, right? Because I'm not the lead architect, but I'm assisting in a roof replacement, a staircase rehabilitation. I haven't really touched this other project, the plaza repairs, but that's kind of still in the background. Guardrail designs. I'm designing guardrails for a few buildings actually. But it's probably going to be the same guardrail design for 3 different buildings. So if you want to count that as 3 projects or 1 project, see, that's kind of where the nuances come into the fold also.
And how many phases does a project have, or does it depend?
Usually 9 phases.
9?
I mean, it goes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and each phase represents a different point in the overall progression of the project. 10 and 20s are like initial surveys and investigations, when you come to the site and you kind of investigate the initial conditions. 30 and 40, I think, are like, where you come up with a proposal, which I haven't done much work in. 60 is where I work most of the time, which is like the construction drawings, right? When you're fleshing the actual project out. 70 is bidding, when you like actually put the project out for bid from contractors, right? Contractors will bid on the project, offer you a price estimate, and usually you'll choose, or the client will choose the lowest. They can consult us for like, suggestions, but the final decision rests with the client to determine who the contractor they want for the project.
And it's the same process for every...
Usually it's the same process for most projects. There might be special instances. 80 and 90 are like construction administration, where you oversee the actual construction phase of the project, do inspections and shit like that, final inspections and stuff.
So at bidding, you give...
So
you did to the contractor?
Yeah, we furnish. So what we do is in the projects that I've worked on, we'll invite 5, 6 contractor companies, and we will meet at the site of the building that we're going to be doing the work on. We will furnish to the contractor a project manual, which consists of the construction drawings, the specifications, And so they will receive copies of those. They will be introduced to the project, the scope of work, what the intended construction work is. We'll tour the building or the site. And then they'll typically have maybe 1 or 2 weeks to respond with a final price estimate. That is their bid for the project. Like they price out everything, like repairs, materials, a schedule for the overall construction. If they have to hire subcontractors, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and then the client will typically choose the lowest bidder, the lowest price, or the second lowest, because you don't want to go too low because then they might be cheap. So it depends. There's a lot of things that go into the bidding process. Owner will choose one guy, one final contractor, and then the work can begin after they finally come to a final agreement.
So you're basically making like an instruction manual?
Yes. That's exactly what it
cool.
is. The drawings tell you what to do. The specifications tell you how to do it.
Damn. Pretty dope stuff. Kind of like what we do as designers.
Much more complex though.
Much more complex. And you just do a section of that, right?
I've
like a lot of people, and then
there's multiple people that work. I mean, the engineers will help with calculations if there's calculations that need to be done, and consulting on engineering, like the feasibility of what our design proposals are. I've helped out with writing specifications. I've done construction drawings, and I've done some designing too. So yeah, there's a lot, but see, then my supervisor, which is the lead architect, he will deal with the client more so. He will deal with the contractors, the clients. He'll arrange all that stuff. And then that's not even taking into account like the whole financial aspect, like the accounting, marketing, expense budgeting, billing. That's a whole different department. So it goes to show there's so many people involved in the project and different parts of the project, different aspects. So it's just so much going on. Like one person that I guess to kind of round back to like the initial topic. It's just so impossible for there to be one person to do everything. It's just not. It's not possible. At least not for architecture. I don't know about other fields, but yeah, it's just not possible.
That goes back to like, how the hell does one person have the name to the project or the firm when there's so many people that put their mind into it? I don't know. I see it both ways though. The lead designer, their name, their exposure,
they
their
give
recognition.
exposure too to the designer.
Right.
So it works both ways.
Yeah. I could see it both ways. Like if I get up there and I have a vision, it'll make sense for me to have a team,
right,
to lead into the vision. I wouldn't want to be that type of boss that goes into the office and just, oh, you're doing that? Oh, you're doing that? All right, bye guys.
Yeah.
That'd be a very shitty boss, very shitty designer.
Exactly.
You would want to enlighten people and
maybe teach them along the way. And
mentor them, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. We're 43 minutes right now. What do you guys want to talk about now?
Well, we did have the other topic on hand. I don't know if we want to discuss it. Human factors.
That could wait until, like, next... You want to do it next week?
Oh, you want to end it?
I mean, it's 43 minutes. Or you want to go for an hour?
No, we could end it. Any final thoughts?
I think the main takeaway from this discussion, this conversation is, lead designers, name brands, faces of the big design companies, they have a whole team backing them up. And odds are they've probably gotten to that position through their own hard work, and hopefully, right? So they've gone through the ranks too, and now they can kind of hopefully mentor the next set of people, right? But yeah, so it's a collaborative effort, it's a team effort.
It's never only one person.
Yeah, no way. It's ever one person. I mean, yeah, one person might initiate the design with the vision, and one person might have the vision, but a whole team fleshes that vision out into a reality for sure.
So in conclusion, the title of this topic, Big Designers Don't Design, has been revised to big designers don't design alone.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, this week we're not gonna review any Instagram posts because we only posted one.
Yeah, we were slacking due to the Labor Day weekend, right?
Yeah, we were going crazy during our
It's
Labor Day
crazy.
weekend.
Can't even remember it.
But we are back and we're gonna be posting random people, random designs, random projects.
Try
into
to
our
be
Instagram.
daily.
It's gonna follow us on Creators Blueprint. Follow me on Design by Dennis, OscarLima.design, and Foul Matter on Instagram. Listen to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Please.
Also subscribe. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean. And you guys have anything else to say?
Yeah, like if you guys have any tips, like we're trying to learn and we're trying to grow.
We don't know anything at all. We're just having conversations. So please enlighten us.
But also any tips and stuff like that will greatly be appreciated.
Absolutely.
Please message us on Instagram because we're like, we put that damn post every week about having topics, and you guys don't say anything.
We'll work through it. You know, it's gonna get.
We'll get there.
It'll get
there.
easier and stuff like
I
that.
can't wait until you guys go back. Once we make it, you guys come back to these episodes and you see us struggling at the end, like desperate. We're desperate, like guys, just please.
Well, on the one hand, I do want to say a positive note. We recently hit 72 followers, I believe. So
73.
There you go. I mean, hey, that's something, right? I think that's something to work off of, you know. So
So yeah,
gotta keep moving forward, you know.
yeah. Subscribe, follow, and do all that. Take care, stay cold, and know the drugs. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Peace out.